Picture this. It's the year 2035, and entertainment doesn't just happen around you, it happens within you. You slide on a pair of ordinary-looking glasses, and suddenly your living room transforms into the surface of Mars, complete with the crunch of red soil beneath your feet and the dry scent of alien dust in your nose. Across from you, a holographic version of your favorite actor personally delivers lines tailored to your mood, reading your micro-expressions to adjust the performance in real time. This isn't science fiction. This is the future we're barreling toward at light speed. Over the next 2 decades, digital entertainment will shatter every boundary we know today. Screens will vanish, stories will breathe, games will taste and smell, and every piece of content you experience will morph to fit your brain like a second skin. In this video, we're tearing open a portal to 25 revolutionary concepts that won't just change how you watch, play, and listen. They'll rewrite the fundamental rules of human experience. From brain streaming that turns your dreams into blockbuster movies to AI celebrities who know you better than your friends, these aren't incremental upgrades. They're full-scale rebellions against everything we consider normal right now. The most radical part, every single one of these technologies either exists in labs today or follows an innovation curve that makes them inevitable. This isn't speculation. This is your future entertainment diet, served one mind-bending concept at a time. Stick around, because by the end, you'll never look at your phone, your TV, or even your own imagination the same way again. Let's dive in. Now let's talk about the first game-changing revolution on our list: hyper-personalized artificial intelligence content creation. Imagine no longer settling for the same movies, songs, or games as everyone else. Instead, every piece of entertainment you experience is crafted uniquely for you, in real time, by an artificial intelligence that reads your mind literally. Here's how it works. The moment you put on your neural headset or slip into your haptic feedback suit, the system starts monitoring your brainwaves, heart rate, and even subtle facial cues. It detects when your attention wavers, when your pulse quickens during a thriller, or when your breathing slows during a calming melody. The artificial intelligence doesn't just react, it anticipates. If a scene in your movie feels predictable, it rewrites the plot twist on the fly. If a song's tempo doesn't match your current energy, it remixes the beat to sync with your mood. This isn't just customization, it's co-creation. The system learns your deepest preferences over time, blending genres you'd never think to combine. Love romantic comedies but secretly crave a dash of cyberpunk. Your artificial intelligence mashes them together seamlessly. Your best friend could be watching the same movie beside you, and their version might be a gritty noir thriller with entirely different dialogue and endings. Even music becomes a living thing. Your workout playlist adapts not just to your pace, but to your muscle fatigue, pushing you harder when it senses you can take it. Video games shift their challenges based on your frustration levels, keeping you in that perfect flow state where time vanishes. The era of generic content is ending. In its place, a world where every story, every song, every game feels like it was pulled directly from your subconscious. And this is just the beginning, because what we're describing isn't some distant dream. Labs are already testing early versions of this tech, and the exponential growth of machine learning means hyper-personalized entertainment is closer than you think. Up next, we're strapping in for a full sensory takeover where virtual reality doesn't just trick your eyes and ears, but your entire nervous system. But we'll get to that in a moment. First, hit pause and think, what would your perfect AI-crafted movie or song sound like? Let us know in the comments, because sooner than you think, that fantasy could be your reality. Now let's take immersion to the next level with full sensory virtual reality that goes far beyond what headsets can do today. Picture this: you're standing in an open field when suddenly the sky darkens. You feel the temperature drop as a cold wind rushes past your skin. Thunder rumbles in the distance, and then the first raindrop hits your arm, not as a sound effect but as an actual physical sensation. This is the power of next-generation haptic suits combined with cutting-edge virtual reality. The magic starts with ultra-high-definition 8K retinal projection that eliminates pixelation completely. Your eyes see a world indistinguishable from reality. But the real game-changer is the full-body haptic feedback system woven into your suit. Hundreds of micro-actuators cover every inch, letting you feel everything from a gentle breeze to a dragon's fiery breath. Walk through tall grass and you'll sense each blade brushing against your legs. Get hit by an arrow in game combat. The suit replicates the impact with pinpoint accuracy, minus the actual pain, of course. Environmental effects take this even further. Built-in thermal regulators can make you shiver in a snowstorm or sweat in a desert, while directional air jets create convincing wind patterns. Imagine standing at the edge of a virtual cliff and feeling that vertigo-inducing updraft against your face, or the oppressive heat radiating from a virtual forge as you craft weapons. This technology isn't just for gaming. Educational experiences become unforgettable. Walking with dinosaurs means feeling the ground shake under their footsteps. Horror fans beware. When a monster grabs your shoulder in VR, the suit will make sure you feel those claws. Even simple activities like virtual travel gain new depth when you can feel the sun on your skin at a digital beach or the mist from a rendered waterfall. The best part, these systems are already beyond the prototype stage. Several companies have consumer-ready haptic suits in development, and early testers report an astonishing level of realism. We're talking about technology that can simulate textures so precisely you could distinguish silk from sandpaper by touch alone. The line between virtual and physical is about to blur in ways we've only dreamed of, and once you experience true full sensory VR, there's no going back to buttons and screens. Coming up, we'll explore an even more radical way to experience digital worlds. One that skips your senses altogether and plugs entertainment straight into your brain. But before we jump there, I'm curious, what's the first thing you'd want to feel in full sensory VR? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button if you're excited for a future where virtual worlds feel every bit as real as this one. Now let's take a leap beyond even the most advanced haptic suits and step into the realm of direct neural experiences. Imagine a world where screens are obsolete, where entertainment doesn't just surround you, it lives inside your mind. This is Neuro-Streaming, the next frontier of digital immersion, where brain-computer interfaces plug stories, games, and adventures straight into your visual cortex. Picture drifting off to sleep, and instead of dreaming random fragments, you choose to experience an epic movie or a serene forest walk crafted in perfect detail by artificial intelligence and streamed directly into your brain. Wake up feeling like you've just lived another life, or stay awake while your morning commute transforms into a zero-gravity space battle, all without ever lifting a VR headset. This isn't science fiction. Companies are already developing non-invasive neural lace technology that reads and stimulates brain activity with precision, turning your mind into the ultimate entertainment portal. The key lies in decoding the visual cortex's language. By mapping how neurons fire when processing images, scientists can reverse engineer the process, sending signals that trick your brain into seeing fully formed scenes. Early prototypes allow users to see simple shapes and colors with their eyes closed. The next step, full immersive narratives with emotional depth, where you don't just watch characters, you feel their memories as if they were your own. But Neuro-Streaming isn't limited to waking hours. The same interface could curate your dreams, blending therapeutic relaxation with adventure. Imagine a stress relief session that rewires anxious thoughts by immersing you in calming landscapes at a subconscious level. Or a language learning app that teaches you French by embedding conversations into your REM cycles. the potential merges entertainment with self-improvement in ways screens never could. Of course, this raises big questions like how we protect our neural data from hacking, or whether we'll still crave real-world experiences when digital ones feel just as vivid. But one thing's certain, once neuro-streaming hits the mainstream, the very definition of watching a movie or playing a game will be rewritten. Up next, we'll shift gears to a revolution in storytelling itself, where audiences don't just consume narratives but collectively own and shape them through blockchain technology. Before we get there, tell me, would you plug into a dream-engineered vacation, or does the idea of streaming content straight to your brain thrill you more? Drop your thoughts below, and if you're fascinated by where entertainment is headed, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming. Moving beyond neural interfaces, let's explore a radical shift in storytelling power, where audiences don't just watch narratives but actively own and steer them. Blockchain story universes are dismantling the old gatekeepers of entertainment, turning passive viewers into co-creators. Imagine your favorite sci-fi saga, but every season finale's cliffhanger is decided by a global vote of fans holding story tokens. Or a fantasy epic where key character deaths hinge on community polls, with each major twist permanently etched into the franchise's blockchain ledger. This isn't just crowdsourcing, it's a full ownership revolution. Through non-fungible tokens, fans purchase stakes in narrative intellectual property, gaining voting rights on plot directions spun across films, games, and even theme park experiences. Picture a detective series where clue discoveries in a mobile game unlock alternate suspect timelines in the TV show, all while token holders debate the culprit in decentralized forums. The story doesn't just branch, it becomes a living organism shaped by collective imagination. The tech enabling this thrives on transparency. Smart contracts automate royalty splits whenever a fan's suggested plot point gets adopted, compensating creativity fairly. Early experiments like blockchain graphic novels have already proven audiences will invest not just money but emotional capital into story worlds they help build. One dystopian project saw fans debating ethical dilemmas in character as NFT holding factions, with their choices altering the protagonist's moral compass in real-time comics. Challenges exist, of course. Not every fan wants the responsibility of narrative stewardship, and poorly designed voting systems can lead to chaotic plots. But the potential outweighs the pitfalls. Blockchain story universes could birth the first truly immortal franchises, where no hero ever stays dead if the community demands their return. As we venture further, consider this. Would you rather witness a predetermined masterpiece or help craft an ever-evolving story legacy? The power is shifting to your hands. Next up, we'll step into shared holographic spaces where digital and physical realities collide. But before we do, tell us in the comments, which existing franchise would you most want to democratize with blockchain voting? Now let's shift our gaze to where digital and physical realities blur into one seamless experience. Volumetric holograms and social light fields are transforming entertainment from something we watch into something we literally step inside. Picture this: your living room becomes a stage for life-sized, three-dimensional projections where characters and objects aren't confined to screens but exist as tangible presences in your space. A jazz musician performs on your coffee table, a dragon perches on your sofa, and you can walk around these holograms, viewing them from every angle just as you would real objects. The magic behind this lies in spatial computing breakthroughs that map environments in real time, allowing digital elements to interact convincingly with physical surfaces. Specialized projectors and depth-sensing cameras create light fields, essentially grids of light rays that reconstruct three-dimensional scenes visible without clunky headsets. Early adopters are already hosting holographic game nights where friends' avatars toss virtual dice that bounce off actual tables, or collaborative design sessions where 3D models float mid-air for teams to manipulate with hand gestures. But the real game changer is social light fields, shared holographic spaces where multiple users inhabit the same augmented reality. Imagine attending a concert where thousands of fans worldwide appear as lifelike holograms in a single venue, their movements and reactions synced in real time. Or virtual classrooms where students and teachers, rendered as expressive avatars, pass around holographic molecules or historical artifacts. Unlike traditional virtual reality, these spaces preserve natural social cues. You make eye contact, read body language, and even high-five across continents. The implications stretch far beyond novelty. Retailers are testing holographic fitting rooms where clothes drape perfectly over your reflection. Museums are resurrecting extinct animals in photorealistic detail. And filmmakers are experimenting with volumetric cinema, where viewers physically move through scenes, discovering unique story angles based on their position. Of course, hurdles remain. Bandwidth demands are colossal, and achieving true photorealism requires leaps in rendering. Yet prototypes like holographic telepresence systems suggest a near future where physical absence no longer limits shared experiences. As these technologies mature, the line between attending and being there will vanish entirely. So tell us, what's the first thing you'd bring into your home as a life-sized hologram? A legendary musician, a fictional hero, or something entirely unexpected? The stage is set and the spotlight is yours. Next, we'll dive into how artificial intelligence is rewriting the rules of emotional storytelling in gaming, but more on that soon. Now let's explore how games are evolving to understand us better than ever before. Emotion-adaptive gaming is turning entertainment into a two-way conversation, where artificial intelligence doesn't just respond to your button presses, it reads your emotions and adapts in real time. Imagine playing a horror game that senses your rising heart rate and cranks up the suspense just as your fear peaks, or an adventure that softens its difficulty when it detects frustration in your facial expressions. This isn't science fiction, it's the next frontier of immersive storytelling. The secret lies in biometric feedback systems. Cameras track subtle facial micro-expressions, a twitch of the brow, a tightened jaw, while wearables monitor heart rate variability and skin conductance. Advanced artificial intelligence processes this data like an empathetic game director, tweaking everything from enemy behavior to musical scores on the fly. A racing game might intensify its soundtrack as your adrenaline surges, while a puzzle title could offer gentle hints when it senses you're stuck. Some narrative-driven experiences even branch into entirely different storylines based on whether you project curiosity, anger, or sadness during key moments. Developers are calling this dynamic resonance design. One groundbreaking title adjusted its entire color palette to warmer tones when players showed signs of sadness, subtly lifting moods without breaking immersion. Another used vocal stress analysis to detect player confidence during dialogue choices, altering non-playable character reactions accordingly. The result: games that feel less like pre-programmed experiences and more like living worlds attuned to your emotional state. Beyond entertainment, the implications are profound. Therapeutic games for anxiety management adjust challenges based on stress levels, while educational titles modify pacing to sustain optimal engagement. Of course, this raises questions about data privacy. Should games store our emotional fingerprints? But early implementations prioritize on-device processing, keeping biometric data local and secure. The era of one-size-fits-all gaming is ending. Soon, your playthrough of a story-driven epic could differ wildly from a friend's, not because of choices you made, but because of how you felt while making them. So tell us, would you trust a game that reads your emotions to craft your perfect experience? Or does that feel a step too personal? Stay tuned, because next we're diving into how quantum computing is set to revolutionize virtual worlds with infinite detail. Moving beyond emotional intelligence in games, let's step into the realm of limitless visual possibilities. quantum cloud rendering is about to shatter every barrier we've known in digital graphics, turning the metaverse into a world of unimaginable detail delivered instantly to any screen, anywhere. Picture this, a sprawling virtual city where every brick, leaf, and raindrop is rendered flawlessly in real time with zero lag, as if you're walking through a parallel reality. This leap is powered by quantum computing, where traditional binary processing is replaced by qubits capable of handling countless calculations simultaneously. Unlike today's servers that struggle with complex textures and lighting, quantum cloud platforms analyze and render entire environments at once. The result: photorealistic scenes with details down to the individual fibers in a character's clothing, or the way sunlight refracts through a drop of water, all streamed seamlessly to your phone, glasses, or neural interface. Here's the magic: these quantum servers don't just render pre-built assets. They generate infinite variations on the fly. A forest isn't just populated with coppered trees. Each one grows uniquely based on procedural algorithms with no two branches alike. Urban environments dynamically age and weather based on simulated physics, while crowds of non-playable characters exhibit distinct behaviors, all without taxing your local device. The implications stretch far beyond gaming. Architects could collaborate in ultra-detailed holographic blueprints that update in real time. Virtual concerts could replicate not just the sound but the exact acoustics of legendary venues, down to the echo between marble pillars. And for creators, it means no more compromises. Every idea, no matter how intricate, can be realized instantly without rendering farms or hardware limits. Of course, challenges remain. Quantum networks need near-zero latency to prevent glitches, and security protocols must evolve to protect these vast virtual worlds. But early tests show staggering potential. One demo recreated the entire Earth's surface at centimeter-scale resolution, navigable in real time, a feat impossible with classical computing. So as we stand on the brink of this visual revolution, ask yourself, what would you create if every pixel could mirror reality itself? Hold that thought, because next we're slipping into something even sleeker. Augmented reality contact lenses that erase the line between screens and the world around you. Now, let's shift our gaze to a world where screens vanish, entirely replaced by the seamless magic of augmented reality contact lenses. Imagine walking down the street, and with just a blink, your entire field of vision transforms. Movie trailers play on blank walls, navigation arrows float above sidewalks, and your favorite game characters duel in the empty space between cafe tables, all without bulky headsets or handheld devices. This is the promise of always-on augmented reality lenses, a leap so subtle yet so revolutionary, it makes today's tech feel archaic. These lenses are more than just transparent displays. They're packed with micro-projectors, motion sensors, and biometric scanners, all woven into a flexible, biocompatible material thinner than a human hair. Unlike current augmented reality glasses, which sit awkwardly on your face, these contacts integrate naturally with your eyes, tracking gaze direction with pinpoint accuracy. Look at a restaurant and its menu pops up. Glance at a stranger and their public social profile hovers discreetly nearby, though of course privacy controls will be a hot topic here. The real game changer is persistence. Unlike phone-based augmented reality that requires you to hold up a device, these lenses are always active, layering digital content onto reality the moment you open your eyes. Morning coffee, the news scrolls across your cereal box. Commute to work, virtual billboards adapt to your interests as you pass them. Even mundane tasks become immersive. Imagine following holographic recipe steps while cooking, with ingredient measurements hovering above your mixing bowl. Entertainment takes center stage. Sports fans could watch live matches with real-time stats overlaid on players, while travelers might see historical figures reenact events at ancient ruins. For gamers, the entire world becomes a playground. Park benches turn into fortresses, alleyways into racetracks, all without disrupting the physical space around you. And because the lenses sync with cloud-based quantum rendering we just discussed, the graphics are indistinguishable from reality, but the implications go deeper. These lenses could erase accessibility barriers, offering real-time subtitles for conversations or audio descriptions of surroundings for the visually impaired. Artists might sketch in 3 dimensions midair while students dissect virtual frogs on their school desks. The line between learning, playing, and living blurs entirely. Challenges, absolutely. Battery life is a hurdle. Early prototypes last only hours before needing a wireless recharge. Then there's the social adjustment. Will people tolerate ads projecting onto their eyeballs? And how do we prevent digital overload when reality is forever peppered with notifications? Yet the prototypes already exist. One company demoed lenses that project full-color holograms visible only to the wearer, while another embedded microscopic speakers that whisper audio directly into your ear canal. So as we step into this screenless future, ask yourself, what parts of your reality would you enhance and which might you want to filter out? Because the next evolution isn't about adding devices to your life. It's about weaving the digital so tightly into your world you forget it's even there. And speaking of blending realms, let's explore how crowdsourced live events are turning passive audiences into creative directors of their own global spectacles. Now picture this: a concert where the setlist isn't decided by the artist but by the crowd. Every guitar riff, every pyro explosion, even the encore moment is shaped in real time by millions of fans worldwide, all voting through their devices. This is the explosive potential of crowdsourced live events, where audiences aren't just spectators but co-creators of the experience. At the heart of this revolution is predictive artificial intelligence that crunches data from social media buzz, fan voting patterns, and even biometric reactions from wearable tech. Imagine watching a virtual K-pop performance where the AI detects the crowd's energy dipping and instantly suggests a fan-favorite track to the performers. Or in a sports championship where viewers collectively vote to buff a weaker character mid-tournament, turning the meta on its head. The line between creator and audience dissolves. Every cheer, every tweet, every heartbeat becomes part of the creative process. The technology behind this is already taking shape. Platforms now experiment with live polling where decisions unfold in seconds, not hours. For concerts, artists might perform multiple versions of a chorus, and the crowd's instant reaction determines which one makes the final cut. In gaming, audiences could vote to spawn surprise bosses or unlock hidden arenas during live streams. The key: speed. AI processes these millions of inputs fast enough to keep the experience seamless, as if the crowd's will is a natural extension of the event itself. But the magic isn't just in big spectacles. Niche communities thrive too. Indie musicians could let fans arrange light shows via smartphone gestures, while theater productions might alter plot twists based on real-time audience gasps detected by microphones. Even sports aren't immune. Picture a basketball game where fans vote to bench a player or trigger a sudden rule change for the fourth quarter. The unpredictability becomes the selling point. Of course, challenges lurk. How do you prevent trolls from hijacking a serious performance with joke votes? Systems are emerging: weighted voting for superfans, or AI filters that flag absurd suggestions before they reach performers. Then there's the artist's dilemma: surrendering control to the crowd while maintaining their vision. Some might embrace the chaos, while others could offer curated choices, blending democracy with direction. Yet the cultural shift is undeniable. This isn't just interactive entertainment, it's a collective storytelling experiment where every viewer holds a pen. And as these platforms evolve, they'll blur the lines between stages and screens, between artists and audiences, until the very idea of a passive spectator feels outdated. Which brings us to an even more sensory frontier: what happens when digital experiences don't just look and sound real, but smell and taste real too. Now, let's step into a world where entertainment doesn't just captivate your eyes and ears, it engages your nose and taste buds too. Imagine slipping on a virtual reality headset and suddenly catching the salty breeze of an ocean, the smoky campfire of a fantasy adventure, or even the buttery popcorn aroma of a virtual movie theater. This is the groundbreaking frontier of smell and taste integration in digital entertainment, where multisensory experiences become indistinguishable from reality. At the core of this innovation are tiny, advanced scent capsules embedded in VR headsets or wearables. These devices release precise combinations of fragrances synced to the virtual environment, whether it's the earthy musk of a rainforest or the sterile antiseptic of a sci-fi spaceship. On the taste side, researchers are developing lightweight flavor emitters that can simulate sweet, sour, salty, and bitter sensations on your tongue, turning virtual dining into an immersive experience. Picture biting into a digital apple and actually tasting its crisp sweetness, or sipping a fictional cocktail that tingles with realistic citrus notes. But this tech isn't just about novelty, it's a storytelling powerhouse. Horror games could ramp up tension with the metallic scent of blood before a jump scare, while historical dramas might transport you to ancient markets through the spice-heavy air. Culinary shows in virtual reality could let you sample a chef's creation from across the globe, and fantasy RPGs could make potion drinking a visceral experience with corresponding flavors. Even education stands to benefit. Biology lessons could include the sulfuric whiff of a volcano, or cooking classes could teach knife skills while the aroma of chopped herbs fills the room. The challenges here are as layered as the scents themselves. Creating a library of base odors that can mix dynamically, like a printer's color palette, requires cutting-edge chemistry. Taste tech faces hurdles too. Mimicking complex textures or temperatures isn't easy. And let's not forget hygiene. How do you clean a flavor emitter between users? Early solutions include disposable mouthpiece covers and scent cartridges that neutralize odors quickly. There's also the question of accessibility, ensuring those with anosmia or allergies aren't left out of the experience. Yet the potential is intoxicating. Restaurants could offer digital menus where you sample dishes before ordering. Long-distance couples might share a virtual dinner, tasting the same wine despite being oceans apart. Environmental stories could use smell as a narrative guide, following the scent of gasoline to solve a mystery, or recognizing a villain by their signature cologne. This isn't just added immersion, it's a fundamental rewrite of how we connect with digital worlds. And as we push deeper into sensory frontiers, another question arises: what happens when the characters we love aren't just on screen, but can think, create, and interact autonomously? Now, let's shift our focus to a world where your favorite stars never really leave the stage, thanks to the rise of artificial intelligence celebrity clones. Picture this: a legendary actor, long retired, suddenly appears in a brand new movie, delivering a performance that feels just like their golden years. Or imagine a music icon releasing fresh albums decades after their passing, with every note and lyric crafted in their signature style. This isn't science fiction, it's the emerging reality of digital twins, where deep learning and voice synthesis bring celebrities back to life in stunning detail. At the heart of this revolution are neural networks trained on vast archives of an artist's work, every film role, interview, song, and public appearance. These systems analyze speech patterns, mannerisms, and even emotional range to create hyper-accurate digital replicas. The result: AI clones that can autonomously generate new performances, whether it's an actor starring in a modern sequel to their classic film or a virtual musician dropping a surprise single tailored to current trends. Fans might even chat with these digital twins in real time, receiving personalized responses that feel eerily authentic. But the implications go beyond nostalgia. Studios could resurrect historical figures for educational content, Einstein explaining relativity in his own words, or Shakespeare debating modern adaptations of his plays. Live events could feature holographic performances by artists from any era, with AI ensuring every movement and ad-lib stays true to their persona. The entertainment industry is already experimenting with this posthumous collaborations between living stars and their digital counterparts, or entirely AI-generated bands with fictional backstories but real fan bases. Of course, this tech isn't without controversy. Who owns the rights to a person's digital likeness? Can a family prevent an AI clone from being used in projects the original artist might have opposed? Ethical debates rage over consent, artistic integrity, and the uncanny valley of synthetic performances. Some argue it preserves legacies, others call it digital grave robbing. Legal frameworks are scrambling to catch up, with some countries requiring explicit pre-death agreements for AI replication. Yet the possibilities are as endless as they are unsettling. Imagine subscription services where you watch new episodes of classic TV shows with the original cast, or video games where historical figures become playable characters with AI-generated dialogue. Virtual meet and greets could let fans bond with digital versions of their idols, asking questions the real person never got to answer. For better or worse, AI clones blur the line between memory and creation, giving immortality a whole new meaning. And as we navigate this uncharted territory, another frontier emerges, one where entire economies thrive within persistent virtual worlds. But that's a story for another moment. Now, let's step into a digital realm where play becomes pay and creativity turns into currency. Persistent metaverse economies are reshaping how we think about entertainment by blending virtual worlds with real-world value. Imagine logging into a sprawling online universe where every action, whether you're designing a virtual fashion line, hosting a concert, or winning a high-stakes esports tournament, earns you tangible rewards in the form of universal crypto credits. These credits aren't just for show, they can be traded, spent, or even cashed out, turning hobbies into livelihoods. At the core of this system are blockchain-powered platforms where ownership is transparent and secure. Players might buy virtual land, develop it into a thriving entertainment hub, and collect rent from other users. Musicians could perform live in digital venues, selling tickets and merchandise as non-fungible tokens, with profits flowing directly to them without middlemen. Even casual gamers might earn credits by completing challenges or contributing to community-driven projects, creating a fluid economy where participation fuels prosperity. The ripple effects are staggering. Independent creators no longer need studio backing to monetize their talents. A viral virtual art gallery or a well-attended metaverse comedy show can generate real income. Traditional industries are taking note too, with brands launching virtual storefronts and advertisers sponsoring in-game events. Universities might offer courses taught in metaverse campuses, where students pay tuition in crypto credits and professors earn based on engagement. Yet challenges loom. How do we prevent wealth gaps between casual users and power players? Can these economies withstand market crashes or fraud? Regulatory frameworks are still evolving, with some governments treating virtual earnings as taxable income while others remain skeptical of their legitimacy. And then there's the philosophical question: when every social interaction carries potential financial value, does it enrich our digital experiences or commodify them? One thing's certain: persistent metaverse economies are erasing the line between leisure and labor. As these systems mature, they could democratize wealth creation in ways we've never seen, turning today's gamers and creators into tomorrow's entrepreneurs. And speaking of transformation, wait until you see how sleep itself becomes a canvas for storytelling, but that revelation awaits just ahead. Now, let's drift into a world where the boundaries between sleep and storytelling dissolve entirely. Dream engineering is flipping the script on nighttime entertainment by transforming your sleep into an immersive narrative experience. Picture this: As you slip into REM sleep, advanced sleep tech implants a curated story directly into your dreams, whether it's a high-stakes spy thriller where you're the protagonist or a tranquil journey through a fantasy landscape. This isn't just passive dreaming, it's premium storytelling woven into the fabric of your subconscious. The technology behind this marvel combines neural monitoring with subtle auditory or tactile cues to guide your dreamscape. Wearable headbands or specialized pillows detect when you enter REM sleep, then use gentle soundscapes, vibrations, or even scents to steer your brain toward a pre-designed narrative arc. Some systems even integrate with brain-computer interfaces, allowing for deeper customization, like adapting the dream's intensity based on your real-time brainwaves. Imagine waking up feeling like you've starred in your own blockbuster, with memories of the experience as vivid as any waking adventure. The implications stretch far beyond entertainment. Therapists could use dream engineering to help patients process trauma through controlled, healing narratives. Language learners might practice conversations in their sleep, with dreams reinforcing vocabulary and pronunciation. And for creatives, it's a goldmine. Writers could test plot twists in their own dreams, while artists might wake up with inspiration from surreal dreamscapes. Even education could be revolutionized, with students absorbing complex subjects through immersive, sleep-based lessons. Yet, as with any frontier, there are ethical tightropes to walk. Who owns the dreams you experience, you or the company that curated them? Could advertisers sneak branded narratives into your sleep? And what happens if the technology glitches, plunging you into a nightmare you can't escape? Early adopters report needing digital lullabies or emergency wake-up triggers to feel safe experimenting with the tech. Regulatory bodies are just starting to grapple with how to classify these experiences. Are they entertainment, therapy, or something entirely new? Dream engineering doesn't just blur the line between stories and sleep, it erases it. As this tech matures, our nights could become as rich with adventure as our days, turning the age-old question, did that really happen, or was it just a dream? Into a thrilling ambiguity. And if you think that's mind-bending, just wait until you see how your walls, clothes, and even the air around you become canvases for entertainment in the next revolution we'll explore. Stepping into the future of shared storytelling, imagine stepping inside a giant sphere where every surface becomes a screen and every viewer becomes a director. Welcome to 360-degree social cinemas, the next evolution of group entertainment that transforms passive watching into a dynamic, collaborative experience. Picture this: you and your friends are inside a spherical theater, surrounded floor to ceiling by projections of an epic sci-fi saga. But here's the twist: your movements dictate where the action unfolds. Lean left and the camera pans to reveal a hidden spaceship. Tilt your head and the focus shifts to a character's subtle reaction. The story isn't just happening to you, it's responding to your collective curiosity. The magic lies in motion tracking sensors and consensus algorithms. As groups of viewers move or gesture, the system calculates the majority preference in real time, seamlessly adjusting camera angles or even branching the plot. Want to follow the hero's daring escape instead of the villain's sinister plan? The narrative adapts, with AI stitching together alternate scenes on the fly. These cinemas could host everything from interactive mysteries, where audiences vote to uncover clues, to live sports events where the crowd controls replays and angles, making every screening a one-of-a-kind event. This isn't just about novelty. 360-degree social cinemas solve the age-old debate of what to watch by letting groups shape the experience together. Families could bond over adventure films where kids steer the action toward playful outcomes, while film buffs might dissect alternate cuts of classics. Theaters could even host competitive screenings where factions lobby for different plot paths, turning storytelling into a social game. And with haptic flooring and spatial audio, you'll feel the rumble of a dragon's wings overhead or the whisper of a conspirator behind you. Of course, challenges lurk in the shadows. How do you prevent one assertive viewer from hijacking the narrative? Designers are experimenting with democracy modes that weight votes by engagement, or chaos modes where conflicting inputs create surreal, unpredictable twists. There's also the creative hurdle. Writing stories with dozens of branching arcs requires AI-assisted scripting tools that can generate coherent threads on demand. But when it works, the result is mesmerizing, a story that's yours in a way no traditional film could achieve. As we peek around the corner of this innovation, the line between audience and creator fades. 360-degree cinemas don't just change how we watch, they redefine why we gather for stories. And speaking of redefinition, wait until you see how the next concept turns every surface in your home into a portal for entertainment. Now let's shift the rhythm entirely and step into a world where music never repeats, where every note is composed in real time just for you. Generative music ecosystems are about to transform soundtracks into living, breathing entities that adapt to your emotions, your movements, and even your heartbeat. Imagine this: you're jogging through the park and your playlist isn't just shuffling songs, it's crafting them on the fly. Artificial intelligence analyzes your pace, your heart rate, and the scenery around you, then generates a beat that matches your stride and lifts your mood. As you slow down to catch your breath, the tempo eases into something calmer, layering in piano notes that sync with your breathing, but it doesn't stop there. These systems learn your preferences over time, blending genres in ways you'd never expect. Feeling nostalgic, the AI might weave echoes of your favorite childhood melodies into a new track. Stressed at work, it could compose a soothing soundscape using biofeedback from your smartwatch to lower your cortisol levels. Even your environment plays a role. Rain tapping on your window might inspire a percussion section, while a crowded subway ride triggers a minimalist rhythm to help you focus. The magic lies in the collaboration between neural networks and vast music libraries. Composers and artists can upload stems, motifs, or even vocal snippets, which the AI remixes into infinite variations. A jazz saxophonist's improvisation could become the backbone of tomorrow's hit, rearranged uniquely for millions of listeners. Platforms might even let you tweak the mood manually, sliding an energy bar higher for workouts or dialing melancholy up for rainy evenings. Of course, there are challenges. How do you copyright a song that never exists the same way twice? Can AI truly capture the emotional depth of human composition? Early adopters argue that these systems aren't replacing artists, they're amplifying creativity, offering tools that let musicians design, seed content for endless permutations. For listeners, it means music that grows with you, soundtracking your life with uncanny precision. And just when you think it can't get more personal, consider this: generative music could soon score your dreams, reacting to brainwave data during sleep. But before we dive into that, let's explore how the next innovation turns every blank wall into an interactive canvas. Now let's step into a future where screens aren't just devices, they're part of the fabric of everyday life. Picture this: your kitchen counter lights up with recipe videos as you chop vegetables. Your office wall becomes a collaborative canvas for brainstorming, and your jacket sleeve displays navigation prompts as you walk through a new city. Touchscreen surfaces are evolving beyond glass rectangles into seamless, flexible layers that turn any space into an interactive playground. The magic starts with ultra-thin organic light emitting diode displays or OLED, so flexible they can bend around curves or fold like paper. Manufacturers are weaving these into everything from wallpaper to furniture, embedding microscopic sensors that detect touch, pressure, and even gestures from a distance. Imagine swiping your hand across a cafe table to split the bill, then dragging a movie from your phone onto the tabletop so your friends can watch with you. No projectors, no cables. Clothing gets a high-tech makeover too. Sportswear with built-in displays can show your heart rate or pace during a run, while concertgoers might wear shirts that pulse with the music's beat. Designers are even experimenting with dresses that change patterns based on social media likes or ambient lighting. The key innovation: these fabrics are washable, durable, and draw minimal power, using kinetic energy from movement or ambient light to stay charged. For entertainment, the possibilities explode. Augmented reality games could turn your entire home into a level, with missions appearing on mirrors or fridge doors. Movie nights might involve turning a blank wall into a wrap-around screen, complete with touch controls to pause or adjust subtitles. Artists could sketch murals that move and react to viewers' touches, while educators might transform school desks into interactive timelines or science labs. Of course, challenges remain. How do we prevent accidental touches in busy spaces? Can these displays handle spills, scratches, or extreme temperatures? Early prototypes use self-healing materials and AI that distinguishes intentional gestures from random contact. Privacy is another hurdle. Your bathroom mirror probably shouldn't display ads, so expect granular permission controls. But when these surfaces mature, they'll blur the line between physical and digital in ways we're just beginning to imagine. And as we rethink where screens belong, the next innovation takes immersion even further, letting audiences physically step inside stories like never before. Now imagine a world where your entertainment doesn't just respond to your choices, it anticipates them. Predictive content engines are about to revolutionize how we discover movies, music, and games by learning our preferences faster than we can articulate them. These systems analyze everything from your browsing history and biometric responses to subtle patterns in your daily routine, serving up perfectly tailored options before you even search. The secret lies in behavioral prediction models that go beyond simple recommendations. Think of it like a best friend who knows you'll crave a thriller after a stressful workday or a cozy cooking show on rainy Sundays. Artificial intelligence cross-references your past behavior with millions of data points like time of day, heart rate variability from your smartwatch, even weather conditions, to predict your mood and interests with eerie accuracy. Early adopters might open a streaming app to find their next binge already queued up, or a music platform that starts playing the exact playlist they need during their commute. For creators, this tech is a goldmine. Imagine a filmmaker testing rough cuts with AI focus groups that simulate how different demographics will react, then refining the edit accordingly. Or game developers tweaking difficulty in real time based on players' frustration levels, measured through screen tension or controller grip pressure. Even advertising could become less intrusive, with brands slotting promotions into natural breaks predicted by your attention span. Of course, there are ethical tightropes to walk. How much data is too much for comfort? Should algorithms nudge us toward certain content for commercial or political reasons? Transparency will be key. Users might demand. Why this suggestion? Buttons or the ability to delete behavioral footprints. But when balanced right, predictive engines could cut through choice overload, making entertainment feel effortless. And just as we're getting used to content that reads our minds, the next frontier takes interaction even deeper into the realm of biofeedback and fear. But more on that soon. Now let's step into the terrifying future of horror entertainment, where the scares aren't just scripted, they're reading your mind. Biofeedback horror tech is turning fear into a two-way street, with games and movies that watch your reactions and dial up the terror in real time. Forget static jump scares. This is horror that adapts to your heartbeat, your sweat, even the tiny flinches you don't realize you're making. Picture this: you're wearing a sleek biometric headband or holding a controller embedded with pressure sensors as you play. The game tracks your pulse, skin conductivity, and muscle tension, then uses those signals to ramp up the intensity the moment it senses you're getting too comfortable. Walk into a dark virtual hallway and the system might notice you're breathing slow, so it spawns a lurking enemy just out of sight. Or if your palms start sweating during a tense scene, the soundtrack swells with dissonant strings to push you right to the edge. What makes this revolution groundbreaking isn't just the tech, it's the built-in compassion. These experiences come with voice-activated safety nets. Say a phrase like "pause scares" or "I need air," and the game instantly shifts to a calmer mode, dimming the lights or swapping monsters for butterflies. Developers are even experimenting with fear budgets, letting players set personal limits so the horror stays thrilling without crossing into distress. Movies are getting in on the action too. Imagine a horror film where the editing dynamically changes based on audience biometrics. If half the theater's heart rate spiked during a chase scene, the AI director might prolong it. If sensors detect too much tension, it could insert a breather moment. Early tests show viewers rate these adaptive films as more immersive, even when they don't realize the content is shifting around them. Of course, there's a fine line between thrilling and traumatic. Ethicists are debating where to draw it, urging strict consent protocols and mental health safeguards. But when balanced right, biofeedback horror could become the ultimate adrenaline rush, a roller coaster that knows exactly when you want to scream. And speaking of reactions, wait until you see how tomorrow's entertainment blurs the line between participant and spectator. That's where our journey heads next. Now let's shift gears from personalized scares to shared spectacle, where you're no longer just watching the action, but choosing how you experience it down to the last detail. Cross-reality spectator modes are dissolving the barrier between stage and audience, giving you the power to switch perspectives in real time like a director calling the shots. Imagine attending a concert where one moment you're front row in virtual reality, feeling the bass vibrate through your haptic suit, and the next you're floating above the crowd in augmented reality, watching laser patterns unfold across the stadium. A quick voice command or gesture toggles your view. Maybe you zoom in on the drummer's hands during a solo, then pivot to a backstage AR overlay showing real-time lyrics scrolling beside the singer. Sports take this further. Picture a basketball game where you can teleport from a courtside VR seat to an aerial AR replay cam, or even step into a holographic coach's diagram breaking down plays mid-game. The magic lies in the seamless sync between realities. While VR plunges you into the event, AR layers contextual magic onto your physical space. Think stats hovering over your coffee table during a soccer match, or a life-sized holographic guitarist performing on your desk. Early adopters like the NBA already let fans choose camera angles in apps, but cross-reality takes it further by merging feeds. Watch a live volcano eruption in VR for immersion, then switch to AR to see scientific annotations about magma flows superimposed on your living room wall. Creators are designing spectator scripts that anticipate these jumps. During a theater performance, the system might prompt AR viewers to examine hidden stage machinery between acts, while VR users explore digital recreations of the set's historical inspiration. Even more impressive, some platforms let participant and spectator modes collide. At an esports finals, you could be inside the game battling opponents in VR while your friend watches from your shoulder in AR, their commentary appearing as floating text you can high-five away. Privacy gets inventive too. Don't want your living room visible during an AR concert stream. The system generates a digital green screen, replacing your actual space with a venue-themed backdrop. And for those moments when you crave pure immersion, a focus mode silences our distractions, filling your vision with nothing but the event. This isn't just about choice, it's about reshaping collective experiences. Families could gather in one room watching the same concert through different reality filters, then swap stories afterward like travelers comparing vacation photos. Teachers might guide students through historic battles in VR before switching to AR diagrams dissecting troop movements. Now, as we peer further into the future, consider how quickly viral moments could evolve when content doesn't just spread, it self-assembles. But here's where things get even more unpredictable. What if the next blockbuster movie didn't come from a Hollywood studio, but from a viral meme that blew up this morning? Picture this: an artificial intelligence system scans social media the moment a trend starts gaining traction, analyzes its narrative potential, and within hours spins it into a full-length feature film tailored to audience cravings. These meme-to-movie platforms don't just slap together low-effort clips. They dissect the cultural DNA of viral moments, whether it's a hilarious pet video, a bizarre conspiracy theory, or a heartwarming human interest story, and transform them into polished scripts complete with character arcs and emotional beats. The AI studies engagement patterns to determine which angles resonate most. Did people love the chaotic energy of a particular meme? The film might become a fast-paced comedy. Did a heartfelt tweet thread go viral that could evolve into a touching indie drama? Speed is the real game changer. While traditional studios take months or years to greenlight projects, these platforms can release movies while the meme is still hot. Imagine waking up to a trending TikTok dance challenge and having a full musical parody film ready to stream by dinner, complete with original songs inspired by the audio clip. Or a political satire generated overnight from a viral news moment with deep-fake cameos of public figures. The creative process is collaborative too. Viewers vote on plot twists or character fates through real-time polls during production, and the AI adjusts the story accordingly. Some platforms even let fans submit personal memes for adaptation. Your inside joke with friends could become the next cult classic. Of course, there are wild cards. How do you handle copyright when a movie originates from a tweet someone posted casually? Can AI truly capture the nuance behind why something resonates, or will these films feel like hollow trend chasing? Early tests show promise. One experimental platform turned a series of absurd restaurant reviews into an award-winning dark comedy by fleshing out the eccentric personas behind the posts. This isn't just recycling content, it's turning the collective internet consciousness into a boundless story engine. And as these systems learn to blend humor, nostalgia, and social commentary more seamlessly, we might soon struggle to tell whether our favorite films were penned by humans or spawned from a meme that made us laugh at 3 in the morning. Now, let's take a step beyond fleeting trends. What if entertainment could outlast us entirely? Diving deeper into the future of digital legacies, let's explore how technology could let us leave behind more than just memories, but active, interactive pieces of ourselves. Digital immortality archives are emerging as a way to preserve not just photos or videos, but the very essence of who we are: our humor, our storytelling style, even our creative impulses. Imagine a grandparent who's passed away, but their digital twin can still tell bedtime stories to their grandchildren in their own voice, complete with their signature jokes and expressions. These systems work by analyzing years of personal data, social media posts, home videos, voice recordings, even biometric responses, to build a dynamic model of a person's personality and creativity. Advanced artificial intelligence then uses this model to generate new content that feels authentically them. A musician could leave behind an archive that composes original songs in their style decades later. A writer's archive might craft new short stories based on their themes and voice, almost like a literary ghostwriter trained on their life's work. But it's not just about output, it's about interaction. Picture a conversation with a late family member's digital archive, where their avatar responds to questions with answers that align with their beliefs and quirks, pulling from their actual past statements and mannerisms. Some services even simulate physical presence through holograms or augmented reality, creating the illusion of a loved one sitting across from you, sharing wisdom or anecdotes you'd never heard before. Of course, this raises profound ethical questions. Who owns the rights to these digital personas? Can a person's digital twin evolve beyond what they'd have wanted? Early adopters are already drafting digital wills to specify how their archive should be used, whether it's strictly for private family use or allowed to contribute to public projects. And while some find comfort in the idea of leaving an interactive legacy, others worry it might hinder the natural process of grief. Yet the potential for cultural preservation is staggering. Think of historical figures whose archives could debate current events in their style, or artists whose digital counterparts keep creating indefinitely. One experimental project even lets users interview a replica of a deceased scientist, with responses drawn from their published works and interviews. As we navigate this uncharted territory, one thing's clear: the line between memory and presence is blurring. And with that, we move to our next frontier: how these immersive experiences might not just entertain us, but fundamentally alter our emotions. Now, stepping into an even more personal dimension of digital entertainment, let's explore how future media won't just reflect our emotions, it will actively shape them. Mood-altering media represents a groundbreaking leap where neurotechnology and entertainment converge to fine-tune how we feel in real time. Picture this: you're stressed after a long day, and instead of just watching a calming nature documentary, your headphones and smart glasses emit precisely tuned sound frequencies and light pulses that gently lower your heart rate and ease tension within minutes. This isn't science fiction. Emerging research in brainwave entrainment shows how specific audiovisual patterns like binaural beats or rhythmic light pulses can synchronize with neural activity to steer mood. Future platforms might offer emotional playlists where songs and visuals are engineered to induce focus, creativity, or even euphoria, adapting second by second based on your biometric feedback. Gamers could experience adrenaline surges timed to boss battles, while meditation apps might deepen relaxation by subtly shifting colors and tones as your brainwaves slow down. The implications stretch beyond leisure. Imagine therapy sessions enhanced by immersive environments that chemically reinforce calm, or workout routines paired with neurostimulation to boost endurance. Film scores could evolve beyond storytelling. Composers might collaborate with neuroscientists to craft soundscapes that trigger dopamine releases at key plot twists. Even advertising might harness this responsibly, with brands offering mood boosts instead of disruptive ads. But with great power comes ethical nuance. Consent is paramount should platforms have access to our neural data. How do we prevent manipulation? Early prototypes are already embedding emotional safety features like override buttons and transparency logs. As we stand at this crossroads, one thing's certain: entertainment's next revolution won't just captivate our minds, it will speak the language of our nervous systems. And speaking of nervous systems, our final concept takes this connection even further now, shifting gears from inner emotions to outer competition. Let's step into the arena of self-evolving esports, where the games themselves learn and adapt in real time. Picture this: you're mid-match in your favorite battle royale, but this time the game isn't just reacting to your moves, it's rewriting its own rules based on how you and millions of others play. No more waiting for developer patches or balance updates. Instead, artificial intelligence analyzes player strategies, spots overpowered tactics, and dynamically tweaks everything from weapon stats to map layouts overnight, keeping the meta fresh and unpredictable. This isn't just about smarter bots. Imagine AI game engines that function like living ecosystems. If players start camping too often in a shooter, the engine might introduce environmental hazards to force movement. If a hero character dominates tournaments, their abilities could subtly nerf themselves not by random tweaks, but by learning from millions of data points to ensure fair, thrilling competition. Even the maps could morph over time, with abandoned areas shrinking and hotspots expanding based on player traffic. The ripple effects are massive. Esports athletes would train against ever-shifting challenges, making adaptability the ultimate skill. Broadcasters could hype live meta shifts mid-tournament, where pros scramble to decode sudden rule changes. And for casual players, no more frustration over stale metas. Every match feels discovery-rich, as if the game grows alongside you. But here's the twist: this blurs the line between player and designer. when an AI interprets collective behavior to reshape the game, who truly owns the evolution? The developers, the community, or the algorithm itself? Early experiments like AI-generated card sets in digital card games already hint at this future. As we cheer for the next generation of esports, one thing's clear: the most formidable opponent won't be the rival team, but the game's own relentless evolution. And speaking of evolution, our final concept takes this idea beyond screens into the very fabric of our cities now. Moving from the digital battlegrounds to the streets we walk every day, let's explore atmospheric storytelling where fiction bleeds into the real world. Imagine walking through your city when suddenly the streetlights flicker in a pattern that reveals hidden messages, or a public screen displays a character speaking directly to you as you pass. This isn't just augmented reality overlays, it's your environment becoming an active participant in a story tailored to your location and choices. Smart cities will turn infrastructure into narrative tools. Weather systems could sync with a mystery plot, raining only in districts where the story's villain operates. Park benches might whisper clues via directional speakers, and graffiti could change overnight to progress a conspiracy you're unraveling. These stories would evolve based on collective interaction. If 50 people gather near a haunted bridge, it might trigger a spectral projection, rewarding communal curiosity. The magic lies in subtlety. Unlike VR headsets or holograms, atmospheric storytelling feels organic. Blinking traffic lights might spell Morse code for observant players, while others see just a glitch. Early experiments like interactive theater trails or our treasure hunts hint at this future, but with smart city tech, narratives could scale globally. A thriller might span Tokyo's neon alleys and Parisian catacombs, with each city's architecture shaping unique chapters. But here's the real kicker: these stories could heal urban spaces. A derelict plaza transformed into a detective's crime scene might draw foot traffic, revitalizing local businesses. Cities could commission civic epics, where solving puzzles unlocks real-world perks like subway discounts or museum access. The line between entertainment and civic life would blur beautifully, and just like that, our journey through tomorrow's entertainment ends where it began. Not in screens or headsets, but in the living, breathing world around us, remade as the ultimate storytelling canvas. What unfolds next? Well, that's a story waiting for you to step outside and play your part. Now, let's shift our gaze inward literally as we examine the ethical crossroads of neuro-entertainment. When brain-computer interfaces allow direct streaming of digital experiences into our minds, the line between private thought and shared data becomes dangerously thin. Imagine a world where your neural responses to a horror movie could be analyzed to serve you targeted ads for anxiety medication, or where your deepest emotional reactions to music are sold to marketing firms without consent. The stakes couldn't be higher. Unlike social media data leaks that expose what you clicked, neuro-entertainment platforms could reveal how you think. Brainwave patterns might unintentionally disclose medical conditions like epilepsy or early signs of dementia before you're even aware. Hackers targeting neuro servers wouldn't just steal credit cards, they could manipulate memories by injecting false scenarios into your neural feed. Remember that nostalgic vacation playback you loved? What if someone altered it to insert branded content directly into your recollection? Fortunately, pioneers are fighting back. The Neuro Rights Initiative proposes 5 safeguards, including mental privacy as a human right and strict limits on commercial use of brain data. Some countries are testing brain data vaults, where neural information is encrypted and stored locally in personal devices rather than corporate clouds. Think of it like keeping your diary in a home safe instead of a bank that sells photocopies. Content creators face new dilemmas too. Should thriller writers have access to aggregate fear response data to perfect jump scares? Could politicians use neuroanalytics to test propaganda effectiveness? The answer may lie in hybrid regulation combining existing medical device laws with digital privacy standards while reserving certain neural data types as permanently off-limits. After all, some parts of the human experience should remain unmeasured and unmonetized. As we stand at this frontier, one truth emerges clear. The entertainment of tomorrow must balance wonder with wisdom, ensuring that the stories we beam directly into brains enrich rather than exploit the most intimate space we have, our own mind. And with that, we turn to another layer of this digital revolution, where creativity and commerce collide in unexpected ways. Now, let's step into the financial frontier of digital entertainment, where power is shifting from corporate giants to individual creators. Picture a world where artists, game developers, and storytellers no longer need approval from Hollywood studios or gaming publishers to fund their visions. Decentralized creator economies are flipping the script, using blockchain-based platforms to let fans directly invest in and profit from the content they love. Imagine a filmmaker crowdfunding their sci-fi epic by selling fractional ownership tokens, giving backers a share of box office earnings and merchandise sales, all tracked transparently on a public ledger. Or a game designer releasing virtual land parcels as non-fungible tokens, where players who buy early see their investments grow as the game's universe expands. This isn't just about cutting out middlemen, it's about rewriting the rules of creative ownership. The ripple effects are staggering. Traditional studios lose their gatekeeper status when algorithms match projects with niche audiences willing to fund them upfront. Gaming giants face pressure as indie developers retain full control over their intellectual property, selling in-game assets as tradable tokens instead of locking them behind paywalls. Even film residuals could become obsolete when smart contracts automatically pay actors and crew members royalties for every stream or download in real time. But the revolution has its challenges. Regulatory uncertainty looms over crypto-based funding models, and speculative bubbles can distort creative incentives. Yet pioneers are already proving it works. Platforms like Mirror for writers and the Sandbox for game builders show how decentralized economies can thrive. The key lies in balancing innovation with stability, ensuring fair compensation without stifling experimentation. One thing is certain, the entertainment empires of tomorrow won't be built on exclusive studio lots. They'll grow from decentralized networks where creators and communities co-own the stories, characters, and worlds they cherish. And as we navigate this brave new economy, the next question becomes: how will these financial freedoms reshape not just what we watch, but who gets to decide what gets made? Now, shifting our focus to the mind's untapped potential, let's explore the groundbreaking frontier of dream engineering. This isn't science fiction. Researchers are already developing sleep tech that can weave curated narratives into our dreams, blending storytelling with neuroscience. But with such profound power over our subconscious, what does science say about its safety and healing potential? Early studies reveal fascinating possibilities. At institutions like Harvard's Dream Lab, scientists use targeted audio cues and gentle electrical stimulation to guide dreamers toward specific themes, like practicing a skill or confronting fears in a controlled, lucid state. For trauma survivors, this could mean reprogramming nightmares into healing journeys. Imagine therapy sessions that continue as you sleep, helping the brain process emotions more deeply than waking hours allow. Yet the stakes are high. Tampering with REM cycles, the brain's natural reset button, raises valid concerns. Overstimulation might disrupt memory consolidation or emotional balance, and unethical manipulation of dreams could cross privacy boundaries. That's why leading neuroethicists advocate for strict protocols, ensuring users retain full control over their dream content. Companies like Prophetic are pioneering non-invasive headbands that respect these limits, using ultrasound instead of direct neural interference. The therapeutic promise, however, is undeniable. Clinical trials show dream tech helping with PTSD, anxiety, and even creative blocks by harnessing the brain's innate problem-solving during sleep. Artists report waking with inspired solutions, while patients describe reduced phobia triggers after just a few sessions. It's like having a nighttime therapist and muse rolled into one. As this technology matures, the line between entertainment and wellness blurs. We're not just talking about personalized dream adventures. We're looking at a future where our nights become as purposeful as our days, healing minds while they rest. And that changes everything. Now, stepping back to see the bigger picture, let's imagine how these innovations will transform not just how we play or watch, but how we fundamentally experience entertainment by the year 2040. Picture a world where your morning commute blends with an augmented reality game, where lunch breaks involve collaborating on a blockchain-produced film, and evenings end with a dream-engineered story tailored to your subconscious. This isn't just futuristic, it's a cultural revolution. For creators, the rules of the game are rewritten. Artificial intelligence co-writing scripts, volumetric holograms replacing green screens, and neuro-streaming turning audiences into active participants means artistry becomes a dialogue, not a monologue. Imagine musicians composing with generative systems that adapt to crowd emotions in real time, or filmmakers whose plots evolve based on collective viewer biometrics. The line between creator and consumer fades, giving rise to a new era of collaborative storytelling where everyone has a seat at the creative table. Audiences won't just consume, they'll inhabit stories. Persistent metaverse economies could make virtual concert tickets as valuable as real-world assets, while mood-altering media might replace coffee breaks with 2-minute joy-boosting nano-experiences. Socializing could shift from scrolling feeds to shared holographic adventures, where friends battle dragons or solve mysteries together across continents, all from their living rooms. Entertainment becomes less about passive viewing and more about living inside the narrative, yet with great immersion comes great responsibility. As neuro-entertainment and dream tech blur reality, societies will grapple with questions. How do we disconnect when our dreams are sponsored? Can we trust AI clones of deceased artists to honor their legacies? The cultural pendulum will swing between boundless creativity and the need for digital detoxes, sparking movements for unplugged sanctuaries where raw, unmediated human connection thrives. By 2040, entertainment won't just mirror culture. It will engineer it, from redefining childhood play with AI tutors that teach through personalized fantasy worlds, to reshaping global empathy via trauma healing via documentaries. These tools will amplify our humanity in ways we're only beginning to fathom. The question isn't whether entertainment will change us, it's how we'll steer that change to reflect the best of who we are. Now, as we bring this journey to a close, let's revisit the most groundbreaking ideas that could redefine entertainment in the decades ahead. Imagine a world where artificial intelligence crafts stories uniquely for your brain, where haptic suits let you feel every virtual explosion, and where blockchain-powered narratives evolve based on collective fan input. Picture concerts where the setlist shifts with the crowd's heartbeat, or bedtime stories that unfold inside your dreams. These aren't just gadgets, they're gateways to entirely new ways of living stories rather than just watching them. But here's the real magic: none of these innovations exist in a vacuum. The most exciting possibilities emerge when they combine. What if your AI-generated movie adapts to your mood while you watch it through AR contact lenses? Or if a holographic game character learns from your neural feedback to become your perfect co-op partner? The future of entertainment isn't about single technologies, it's about how they intertwine to create experiences we can barely fathom today. That's where you come in. Which of these concepts fires up your imagination? Maybe the idea of digital immortality archives unsettles you, or perhaps emotion-adaptive gaming feels like cheating. Whatever your perspective, the conversation starts now, because shaping this future isn't just for tech giants. It's for creators who'll push boundaries, parents who'll guide kids through these new worlds, and viewers like you who'll decide what sticks. Drop a comment below. Tell us which innovation excites you most or which one keeps you up at night. Before you go, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our deep dives into how these technologies are already taking shape, from early brain-computer interface tests to the first AI-generated film festivals. And if this glimpse into 2040 left you buzzing, give the video a like to help others discover it. The future isn't just coming, it's being built one breakthrough at a time. Thanks for joining the exploration, and remember, the most revolutionary entertainment platform might just be the one you imagine next.